Hello, Dres. How you doing? I'm so happy that you allowed me this opportunity to be here with you today, and also for the opportunity to look more deeply into the situation of hypertension. We talked on the phone a few times. I mean, we had this opportunity to exchange notes and ideas, but today I want to present to you different aspects of the self-healing process. And I want to share this because this is what I've been doing for the last 20 years of my life and has allowed me to heal things from cancer to AIDS in a natural way. So yes, I have heard and follow doctor's advice to a point, and then I have chosen to move more into taking responsibility over my own health. And I just feel very inspired to share this with you for the first time. I've never done this before. I've never got into people's situations and say, well, this is what I've done, or this is what I would do if I were you. Because more than anything, I think this is the approach today. I don't want to lecture you on what you should be doing. I want to share with you what I would do if I were in your situation. And also, I mean, and this is it. I mean, there is nothing behind it. I'm not trying to anything. So what's going to happen today? I'm going to present to you different perspectives of self-healing, especially the ones that I've used the most. And I'm going to focus on 3 today, so we don't make this video too long, and it's a bit more concise. And well, let's start. Yes, let's go and start. So let me share my screen with you. Let me share my screen, and we're going to start with, hold on, yes, we're going to start with the NHS website, because this is where we should start, because this is where we are, most of us. So we have a doctor. That doctor says, well, I know about your body, about your organism, and I know how to deal with it, and I have solutions. So this is probably the website that you already visited, the NHS website, and it gives you a few ideas of what blood pressure is, are the causes, the risks. You already know all this. I hope that you don't get stressed about it. And then it begins a list of risks. And it tells you, here's a list of things that may cause or increase the risk of getting high blood pressure. Reading through it, realize that you don't have many of these risk factors, which made me kind of more curious about finding out other aspects. Because, well, it says overweight. Well, you are not overweight. Eat too much salt. You don't eat too much salt. You probably could eat more fruits and vegetables, but so the rest of the whole civilization. Do not exercise enough. You do exercise. You do your boot camps, and you said, if I remember correctly, you said 4 times a week. You don't smoke. You don't drink, you don't get don't get much sleep or have disturbed sleep. Okay, I understand. Yes, we all kind of at some point, especially when stress gets a little bit too much, we have that. And then it says relatives. So in the genes, if you are black, I don't understand why that would be a cause, but or live in a deprived area. I can understand that one. If you live in a horrible place, and like, why? That would cause a huge amount of pressure. Anyway, so we know that you have that idea already of what the doctors say, and you already you're taking your medication, and well, this is as much as we humans are led to believe there is all about healing and the health. However, I have discovered more than that, and I want to introduce you to Louise Hay. This is a book called "You Can Heal Your Life," and who Louise Hay is a metaphysical healer. Now, metaphysical healing, it's about connecting emotions to health, realizing that the way we feel energetically, the way we feel in our emotions, affect the way we feel in the body. So this, if you want to make sense, is like, yes, there are viruses, bacteria, and funguses, or there are causes that, for example, now we're talking about hypertension, there are risk factors and possible causes of what could make hypertension happen. But it says, okay, for example, overweight. Okay, but why are you overweight? What are the emotional factors that makes you eat more than you need? Eat too much salt and more vegetables. Okay, this is about education, maybe. Or maybe it's about eating comfort food. What are the causes behind eating comfort food? Why do we have to comfort ourselves in that way? Doing not enough exercise, for example. Well, where is our lack of energy comes from? Why do we feel so demotivated? Why are we not in love with our bodies? What kind of programming happens in our minds that, knowing what is right for us, we don't do it? And this is where Louise Hay comes in. She talks a lot. This is her official website, and you can know more about her. She already died. She died 90 something years old. A wonderful woman. Her book is just amazing, and she talks it's all about reprogramming your mind. This is about. She works a lot with positive affirmations. So she believed that whatever you say about yourself and the world in your mind creates your reality. And that's what I thought, oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, because back when I needed this book, when I was first diagnosed with cancer, and I was told that I needed to go through a series of chemotherapies and radiations to get rid of the cancer. And I decided not to go through those chemotherapies and radiations. And I was hanged this label of, well, you have 6 months to live if you don't do it. And then through changing the way I talk to myself and I related to the world outside, what the doctor said that would be the end of my life in 6 months completely disappeared in 3. So from the moment I was told that I had 6 months to live, 3 months after putting into practice whatever I read on this book, which was about changing the way I talk to myself, changing the neurological path that happen in my brain that create my reality by just constant positive affirmations, repetition. I love and accept myself totally and unconditionally, for example, that's one of them. But each and every disease or illness has its own focus. So now, for example, in this website, I found the blood pressure. Where is blood pressure here? Blood pressure. So it says blood pressure, in high blood pressure, long-standing emotional problem not solved. And this is where we knock the door, we present this situation, long-standing emotional problem not solved. And then you allow your intuition, your inner compass to bring something about how does that sound to you? I know that we all have long-standing emotional problems not solved. I mean, hello, we live in a dysfunctional world. We all have those emotional problems not solved. But in your case, there must be something specific that is jumping. It could be many, it could be one. It may not come at all. I mean, you may not have any realization. Maybe this is just a little bit too much at this point, and you may feel like, oh, I don't understand anything that's going on. Or you might feel like, oh yeah, actually, this makes sense. Right now, what we are doing is beginning to shift the perspective of our own healing. So doctors will never talk to you about what happened in your childhood. Maybe we can solve your high blood pressure in that respect. Again, but this is not about allowing others or making others save you. This is about you looking for that situation and find solutions for yourself. Now, this woman, Louise Hay, she also has an app, and so it says that blood pressure, blood problems could be also the cause of lack of joy, lack of circulation of ideas. How creative do you feel yourself to be? How often do you come with great ideas to improve your life, to improve your income, to improve your relationships? How often do you feel like you have that constant flow of abundance of new ways to live your life? And how often do you believe in them and you act upon them? And how often do you take them to the highest potential, to live their highest potential? How do you feel about yourself? I mean, are you living your highest potential? Are you earning your highest income? Are you loving the highest in your highest ability or possibility to love? What about health? And here where hypertension comes in. I mean, how could you live your highest potential about your health and life? So this is how we work with Louise Hay, and then she brings the affirmation, and in this case says, joyous new ideas are circulating freely within me. I know it may sound like a yes, especially if you're not a tree hugger and you know, cosmic entity that fills your heart with, you know, butterflies love every 5 minutes. This kind of affirmations may sound like a but you can find your own affirmation if you know what the difficulty is, if you know where the problem or the conflict lies. It's very easy to find the antidote to that thought pattern. Remember, with Louise Hay, we're talking about thought patterns, about the way you talk about yourself. How do you relate to yourself in the way of allowing the flow of life to go freely and easily through you? So if there are any blockages there, if there is any conflict or difficulties, we have to find the thought pattern. I believe in myself. Everything about my creativity is pure and abundant. I don't know. You can always come to that point. I can help you with that because I have learned, and I created a method called the Samsara method, which is about going deep, finding the conflict, and then looking inside yourself for the antidote. But we will talk more about that a bit later. So you have Louise Hay, you have her book, You Can Heal Your Life. That's amazing. This is her website. And she's absolutely beautiful and amazing. She created, now she has a massive publishing house called a Hay House, where is visited and thousands of authors and speakers. They share their experiences and love with everybody. So I will invite you to go and know more about Louise Hay. This is the timeline of her life and everything. She's happy and how she's have sold 30 million books, and she died happy, healthy, and rich. And that is one side. Remember, Louise Hay is about the way you talk about yourself. This is about the production of thoughts in your mind. Then we go into German New Medicine. If you have never heard of German New Medicine, you're about to get a surprise. I was going to say a shock, but it's not a shock. It's a surprise, because it happens that there is a new line of medicine that is a lot more inclusive, not exclusive, like the medicine, like these guys here. These ones, those ones are very exclusive. It's, well, this is science, and this is what's been proven by science, and everything outside science is just pure bullshit and mumbo jumbo, and is superstition, and is just not scientifically proven, so therefore it's not worth even look at it. These guys are inclusive. These are guys like actually, there are things that science cannot prove. There are things that other philosophies or science has figured out or proven. We don't have knowledge of everything, but we can see how everything interacts with each other. We understand how emotional conflict creates organic conflict, and psychological conflict creates, I mean, how everything is together. And that makes, I don't know for you, but that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, okay, yeah, because we are not just body, we are not just a brain, we are a mind. We have emotions, and we are also multidimensional. That means that we believe in spirit. I mean, that God factor that now has been kind of proven its existence by quantum mechanics and quantum physics, that if you haven't heard anything about quantum physics or quantum mechanics, I will invite you to just dive into what is quantum mechanics or quantum physics. And it begins to understand more how this reality, which we feel is very solid, in reality it's not. And how come everything is truly just energy? So if we are just different aspects of energy, it's logical that the conflicts and the illnesses and the situations, well, they have also different aspects to them. So German New Medicine, it's about that. Consider that these guys are a brand new line of medicine, and they don't have the millions and millions and millions and millions of the NHS to provide you with very good, nice looking websites. And there's a lot more simple. There is it's very, very simple. This is the guy that came up with the German new medicine, is Dr. Hammer, and explains you the how he came up with this. I will invite you to look at the biological laws that he came up with. I mean, truly remarkable. If you go there, you can learn more about that. But that's a little bit too much information. This is about focuses on German new medicine and high blood pressure. In German new medicine, they talk about conflict, but conflict created in the past because of situations like a trauma or an accident, an illness, or something like that, that created the conflict. If you say conflict, here the situation is about resolving conflict. In German new medicine, the key is about resolving a unresolved conflict of the past, of your mind, of your body. So in this case, German new medicine talks about kidneys. How the hell hypertension or high blood pressure connects with kidneys? And why kidneys? Well, for that, you will have to begin to dive deep into it. I think we talked about it on one of in the last video call that we had, and but it's about diving a little bit deeper about what could be there. What could be there that is unresolved? If there is about any alcoholic scenarios, for example, in the past, if there are any floods or feeling overwhelmed by water, near drowning. Remember that we talked about your dad. Empathy of a loved one's fear. This is an interesting one, because sometimes we don't have to live or experience the conflict ourselves. If you are a very empathic person, or if you are very connected to a person in your life, you could share the same conflict that that person experienced in their lives. Isn't that interesting? And that doesn't, I mean, doesn't it make sense? It does make a lot of sense to me. So especially if you are the empathic kind, if you're an empath, you relate to this. You relate to how many times we feel what others feel, and we don't even want to feel it, but there's no way we can deny it. But okay, anyway, German new medicine, it's about finding conflict. It's about resolving conflicts of the past. This is about researching, because this is a lot more complex than just changing the thought patterns, like Louis Hay says, like, just talk to yourself beautifully. Like, I love myself and accept myself totally unconditionally. I love myself and everything is well. And I allow the flow of creativity to flow freely through my body and arm. I mean, it's a lot more complex, as I said. So it's about researching, but it's worth it. It's totally totally worth it. If you want to know more the generals of German new medicine, I will invite you to look at this video on YouTube, which is the introduction to the 5 biological laws in German new medicine. Very, very interesting stuff. It's just a very new perspective of health, healing, and disease. It will make you question a lot of stuff. It will make you also understand a lot more how things work, and it will make you also feel more empowered about situations like the coronavirus that is going on right now, and you will feel like, okay, you're more in control. You know how to deal with your own body and how to feel safe, how to bring about more inner protection, like your immune system, how to improve your immune system, how to work with your body. I mean, just imagine if you are able to deal and resolve the high blood pressure in your body. Imagine what else can you do with your own body, with your own mind, with your own life. This is just the beginning. This is just about beginning to learn about yourself. From here is the possibilities are endless. So I will put obviously links to all this in the description of this video, because at this point it's about beginning to search for answers. And this is where I get in. This is where Tappilini comes in. Tappilini, if you don't know about Tappilini, Tappilini is a method, a practice that I put together in 2018. And Tappilini is a combination of 3 practices, of 3 techniques. One is EFT or tapping. Yes. Here I explain what tapping is, but very simply explain, it's about removing or disconnecting the mind from the fight, flight, or freeze response of the nervous system. What this does is that, for example, we have something in our past that we don't know how to deal with. A trauma, an event, an accident, a circumstance, X, Y, or Z. I mean, it could be anything that we have learned to put aside because dealing with it is too difficult. So with this, we disconnect that need to not look at it. And we are able to look at it and not panic or enter in depression or sadness or anxiety or any of that. And we can actually begin to understand, to see. I mean, when you look at it as something, well, you know more about it. And the more you know about it, well, you know what is it for, how did it get to be it. There are so many things about it that it will be useful for you. And the thing about disease, this is something that I've learned, is that disease, pain are not here to kill you. And this is maybe very hard to believe, because if we go back to the mainstream medicine, well, they tell you that, yes, disease, pain is here to kill you. You have to get rid of it, kill the pain with painkillers. But I've learned this is something that changed my life. That was the realization that no, actually, pain and disease are not here to kill us, are here to teach us. They're here with a lesson about yourself, not about the disease. The disease doesn't care about it. We are a self-nurturing organism, life in the universe. So everything serves a purpose. Disease has a purpose. Pain has a purpose. What is the reason of pain? Raise the fucking alarm. Oh, it's painful there. What's going on? What's happening there? Oh shit, I'm burning myself. Oh, I'm going to take this arm off the fucking fire. The same thing. Just imagine this analogy, this symbology with every single pain in life. Doesn't matter if it's cancer or if it's COVID or if it's high blood pressure. It's all about the same. It's about saying, hey, look at this. There is something wrong. Make it right, and the pain will go. Now, this is a very simple and logical way of thinking, but we have not been taught to think that way. We are like, it's painful, push it away, vaccinate yourself, kill the fucking virus, get it away. There is nothing to learn. It's just bad. Just get rid of it. And then we enter in the conflicts of, it doesn't go, it keeps coming back. What should we do? Run, put a fucking mask, hide from everything and everyone. And it just builds more and more tension that it has no end, and it will never end because it has no way to end. Because if you are not learning the lesson, well, the teacher is going to keep hammering in. So this is where Tappilini becomes very, very useful, because in Tappilini, first we use the tapping. Tap, 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 tap. That works with the fight, flights, and free responses of the nervous system, so you can see the shit in your life and not get panicked or trying to run away or fight it or deny it. I mean, you simply it will allow you to take a very neutral and I would say, I don't want to say enlightened, but in a way it's enlightened, because it's like okay, you are not moved by the emotion. You're like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. Like, oh shit, I can see how horrible or how bad it looks. Wow. Damn. And what do I do with it? Now, that's the second part of Tappilini, because the ini in Tappilini stands for Kundalini. And the Kundalini part, it's about, what do I do with it? How did it get to be there? What can I learn from it? What is the lesson I learn from it? I can learn from it. And learned it, study it, realize that many times it's not just an easy answer, that we have to change behaviors, that we will get sabotaging thoughts and behaviors that will try to keep us trapped in the same reality and way of thinking and acting. And that we have to constantly remind ourselves, oh, you know something? I am changing. And I have this, and I want to have that. This is my reality of now. This is my reality as with all the labels that I have put on myself, or that life or society or family or culture has put on myself. And this is who I believe I can become. This is how much potential I feel I have. So how do I move from point A to point V? And this process, this in between, it's a trial and error process. This is the journey of the soul. This is where we go from being asleep or unaware to be awakened and aware. And this is when we go from automatic driving to manual, and we take charge of our life. Kundalini will give you the opportunity to enter into the subconscious of your mind and bypass the limiting thinking of your mind. Yes. How do we do that? We use a mantra. We use a very simple, powerful mantra that actually I just realized that I don't have it. It's not written up and should be here because that's very, very important. Actually, I'm going to put it on this side. But the mantra is Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. And on my website, I have checked the little flags because I have in Spanish and in English, but I have videos to tell you what it is. For example, I have this one that I explain everything, absolutely everything about the tappilini. I can talk and talk and talk and talk, as you probably can notice. But tappilini is very, very simple. It's about sitting yourself, diving deep within yourself and finding answers. At the beginning, it might be just about finding clarity, not answers, but just feeling very clear where you are right now, about how all those things that you have learned about yourself and what others say about you makes you feel. How do you feel about taking responsibility and beginning to take your health under your own control? How can you begin to know yourself as more than just an organic machine, but a more complex emotional, spiritual, and biological organism? That is what's puts together tappilini. And I wanted to share this with you because I think that you are ready for knowing better, knowing more about you. And this is what I've done for the last 20 years, as I mentioned before. 20 years of my life healing cancer. And it's not about healing cancer or AIDS. It's not like I healed AIDS. I healed the factors in me, the beliefs in me, the situations in me, the trauma in me that gave nourishment to those pains or diseases. I had to learn so much about myself. I had to find so many answers. Why cancer? What is cancer? What is cancer for me? Not what the doctor said cancer is. They may say all that. Okay, then you have to take that in consideration and then ask yourself the question. So what does that mean to me? How can I use that to change and move on? And begin to take the steps. I think at this point, you can begin to ask yourself, okay, what is my next step? What are you going to do? And I suggest that because you already have a very healthy lifestyle, you already do your exercise, you already have a good diet that you could improve, yes, as we all can improve our diet. But you have already a okay-ish diet. You can improve on that, yes. But I think the most important part of the improvement could happen at a conscious level. It's about working with your mind, working with your beliefs, working with your emotions, and working with your soul, working with what it is that you feel your potential in this life is, and how can you live your highest potential, or how can you live higher, if it's not the highest, but just improve your relationship with yourself in terms of self-love, self-healing, and self-improvement. You know, like you give to yourself what you need. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I say today's video as if I were going to make more about this. Probably I will. Different diseases. I actually would like to make something like this for different diseases. Learn myself about them and share with people what I would do in their case. So I will put links on about all the websites that we visited today. And I invite you to visit Tappilini. And if you have a where is the contact? I should have a contact. I think it's all the way to the so it's a lot. Here's the contact form. So here you can contact me, send me a message, and we can talk more about anything, about what you think about today's video, about the different aspects. If you want to understand more about Louis Hay, or if you want to know more about German medicine, or if you want to ask me anything, I mean, obviously everything is out there. I'm not an authority of anything. I'm just I just kind of put all everything together. So, but I'm still here, open and willing to share whatever I know and have experienced. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. The line stays open, and I hope to hear from you. Until next time, Sat Nam, Namaste. Hasta la próxima. Ciao. Stay in touch, okay? And okay, so now I go back to, how do I go back to, stop sharing. I go back to this one. And I